I mean, Ghana is part of Africa, right? So, and we're situated in a very strategic position in terms of our language, our skills base, our demographics. So we have a huge opportunity to grow Ghana as a market for venture capital and also as a launch pad to the rest of Africa, right? So we recognize that in nurturing the institutional investors that we are speaking to, the pension funds, we were pointing to examples across the continent, not just in Ghana. Ghana is a relatively small market, but we recognize we need to change regulations to open up Ghana as a springboard for venture capital for the rest of the continent. We have amazing stories and brands that we all know, right? Chipper Cash, Flutterwave, Paystack, ZPay. These are all venture-backed organizations that have benefited from this kind of capital in a way that comes in to provide long-term capital for companies to grow.
I think the future for private equity and venture capital in Ghana is very bright. One, first and foremost, from the work that the regulator has done in ensuring that the private equity and venture capital asset class is very well structured and regulated. I mean, we've come a long way and we are fortunate to have a regulator that is listening and working with us. And when I say the regulator, not just the Securities and Exchange Commission, but also the NPRA as well. We've recently seen that they've come up with new guidelines, which also allows more flow of capital into private equity and venture capital.
The Ghana Venture Capital Association was set up 4 years ago through the Venture Capital Trust Fund, recognizing the need for private sector industry engagement. So we are a private sector industry body, an association set up to serve the industry, to grow the industry and to grow our membership base, which comprises fund managers, investment fund managers that are active in the venture capital and private equity space, as well as their transaction advisors, so legal firms and auditing firms that advise on venture capital and private equity deals in Ghana.
So Mepa Investment Advisors is licensed by the Securities and Exchange Commission to manage private equity and venture capital funds in Ghana. And we currently have a fund called the Mepa Capital SME Fund 1, which provides what we call patient capital to high-growth SMEs in various sectors in the economy. So we provide capital that allows them to grow from the formative stages and allows them to scale. And our preference or our sweet spot is businesses that actually are looking to scale cross borders. So export businesses or businesses that want to offer their services in other jurisdictions besides Ghana.
So we're really looking at the high growth companies and the fund managers that have the skills and expertise to navigate some of the challenges in the market, right? The macroeconomics are extremely challenging. There's a lot of uncertainty, volatility. That's standard for us, right? So we have amazing professionals in the venture capital investment space who are managing funds successfully, exiting successfully. We just need more of those. And so I think Ghana has a lot of potential to tap into that opportunity and replicate some of the successes we've seen, not just in Ghana, but across the continent as well.
We need not just capital, which I call patient capital, or the industry calls patient capital, to come in, but we need them from sources that have a long-term horizon. And so, for instance, our pension funds are one such channel or source for capital for our SMEs. And let's also look at this very critically. SME development is national development. Our economy depends heavily on SME development. And those SMEs are the ones who create jobs. And those jobs are the ones that eventually contribute to our pensions. So it's a cycle. So Moringa Connect is an interesting story for us. Now, this is a company that, despite the immense opportunity it has in the export markets in the US, because it's currently supplying over 90% of its products in the US, with production being done in Ghana, from the farm to the factory, and then onward for distribution in the US. Now, despite the immense opportunity, we realize that this is an entity that, for lack of a better term, was leaving money on the table.
True Moringa was founded by Kwame Williams and Emily Cunningham in 2013. They started their first full-year operation in 2014. True Moringa's mission is to elevate farmers from poverty, and their vision is to do this for 100,000 farmers by 2040. The company is into moringa powder processing and oil processing, as well as herbs and other spices. We export our products to the US, Europe, and Asia. We also sell locally as well. Moringa is very medicinal. I think we call it the magic plant. It helps in boosting our immune system, and you can use it to eat anything. It's very, very good. We sell our produce in the form of powder and in the form of teas to our customers. We realized we had orders that we couldn't meet and we needed to scale up. And we met Meripa, that's Meripa Investment Advisors, those are our farm managers. We met them on an SME events they organized, and we got in touch with them. They followed us over the years, and when we were ready to scale up, they looked through our business and realized our business is good, so they invested in our business.
And so what we have brought to the company since coming into the business, first and foremost, is strengthening its governance to ensure that the business is taking the right decisions, and to ensure that the founders are held accountable and are also provided with the strategic oversight and guidance that they need to really deliver on the obligations that they have with their international clients. Secondly, there was quite a bit of inefficiency in their production, which was leading to them not producing optimally. And so since our investment went into the business, they have restructured their factory production in Sawom. In fact, complete reconfiguration of the factory production. They've brought in a very experienced production manager that they were able to hire and afford from another company that produces locally. And so with that, we're looking forward to an exciting turnaround in the business. And in fact, the recent report I got from them for first quarter, the subject actually was their highest producing or highest revenue earning quarter since inception. So that goes to pretty much highlight some of the impact that we have on these businesses. And we're expecting that over the next 2 to 3 years, their business will scale exponentially and do much, much better than they've done in the past.
Based on assessments from previous years, they looked through our books and realized the viability of our company, and based on that, they invested in us, which has really helped us to expand our farms and also increase our capacity. Currently, we've doubled our capacity. Previously, we were able to do 1,500 kilos of fresh moringa leaves a day, but currently we can do over 3,000 kilos of fresh moringa leaves a day. We are enrolling more farmers to expand the farm. We are also in the process of building our second factory in the north. So we have 2 factories processing to meet demands of our customers.
When we come in, governance is supposed to provide that guidance that the business needs to grow. And once the business grows, both the company, the entrepreneur, and the investor win. And that means that if there's a need for a budget, we all collectively agree on a budget to say that based on the direction in which we're going over the next year, the next couple of years, this is the budget that should take us there. The investment that we bring in typically comes to fund that budget. And so it is in our interest to ensure that that is protected. It is in the interest of our investors to ensure that that money we are putting in is protected. And it is in our interest to ensure that the entrepreneur and his or her team are following the budget and whatever operational or execution plan that we've all agreed on. They are following it to ensure that we achieve the investment objective and we achieve the business outcomes that, again, makes us all happy, including the entrepreneur himself.
So I would say any business that want to scale up to be able to meet their orders, both locally and or exports, should engage a farm manager such as Meripa Investment Advisors, so they can invest in them for them to achieve this goal.
For us, we tell entrepreneurs that if you're going for money, be willing to share. An entrepreneur who is not willing to share is not ready for private equity or venture capital money.
I would say Ghana is a very good place to invest. So all investors who are seeking to invest can look to Ghana so they can partner with businesses to grow with them.
So Ghana has a lot of potential in terms of being a market and a hub for venture capital and private equity. Ghana is very much open to business in the fact that we have institutional investors who have already set the tone for investing locally in local currency, backing companies and ventures that are crossing borders, employing people, creating jobs for the real economy. And so I would say that it's a massive opportunity. For those who have taken the steps already, they've shown the way, but there's a lot of opportunity for us to come together as an association in Ghana and across Africa as well, for us to really leverage the opportunity of private capital for our own private businesses and our economies.
Ghana is open for business.
So remember, Ghana is open for business.